So I was watching a program last night on MSNBC, and they were talking about the vaccine and how important it is to make sure that communities of color, specifically Black people, take the vaccine, and that there needs to be some type of conscious effort or campaign to make sure that Black people get the vaccine. And there needs to be some type of trusted messengers in the community. So they talked about the priests, they talked about, the community business owners, they talked about the grandma and the grandpas that have been in the neighborhood for 30, 40 years and have taken care of everybody. They need to get the vaccine first. They need to be able to speak on behalf of the community and to really make that connection with folks to say, hey, there's nothing wrong with the vaccine. In fact, it's going to actually help us. It's not going to hurt us. You can trust me. So that's the type of approach that they're trying to take. And I just don't know if people are going to buy into that. So that's why I asked you that question of, do you think people are actually going to just go and take the vaccine on their own?
No. The first information that we got in terms of a vaccine was to stay away. And then there's still the people who believe that it's a hoax. There's still people who believe that the chip might be installed in the vaccine. There's still a degree of people who have other information, misinformation, lack of information, and that sort of thing. People are not really studying. They're not taking the time to do the real research to be informed, okay? And so some won't do nothing until they see somebody else do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just.
And I think that's where they're emphasizing, like, there needs to be trusted people in the community that get the vaccine and then can go and talk with other community members to convince them, to persuade them to get the vaccine.
Yeah, they're having a tough time just testing. As I mentioned before, currently they're doing some testing. We in fact, some testing that we know of that they're doing right over here in St. Paul at Redeemer Church right now. They're doing testing. And so it's already a battle just to get people to test. Vaccine's going to be a whole
That's a good point. I wasn't even looking at it from that perspective. It's been difficult to even get people to go get a test. Now you want them to go out and get a vaccine that they're already skeptical about? What do you think the government can do to build that trust between now and when the vaccine is going to be fully deployed throughout the community?
I've seen what they're implementing. They're saying, well, we're going to have President Obama be one of the first recipients of taking that vaccine, along with somebody else who I think they said will be a recipient as well, to make it seem friendly. Mm-hmm. Gaining trust. They've tried it out. For us, you mean?
For black people? I just say that's podcast.
They've tried it out. They've tried it out and gave some money to a lot of Negroes. Even some of those who are doing tests now or who are behind the testing, Negroes who, these same Negroes who always say, we can get to the Negroes and we can get them to come out and do, those. Mm-hmm. Those Negroes always seem to get money to do the bidding and everything. But they're not using the money wisely to do these type of workshops, informational sessions, and such that it's going to take in order to gain that trust. They're just if we build a game house, y'all will come and play games, or they can just say, well, we made the effort and that sort of thing. It's not enough. It's not enough of just having a testing site and having people on, but if nobody's coming in there. If you've not did your diligence in the community and talked to people and tried to educate them and why are you taking these people's money? Mm. And then telling a lie and putting our lives at risk. Mm. Why would you do that? Just to get some of that COVID money? Is that what this is about to you? The COVID money? It's not about the prevention and awareness, the prevention of spreading and the awareness so that people know that they can make a conscious decision when that time does come, because we've been dealt an end of the world blow. We're lucky to make it to the end of the year.
In the county alone, we got 32,622 confirmed cases, 2,500 people hospitalized, 593 people total cases that are in the ICU. Mm-hmm. We've lost 559 people.
Wow.
Total. And that's just in the county. majority of those cases, a majority of those deaths, hospitalizations, what city do you think that's coming from within the county?
What city would that be, sir?
Right here in St. Paul.
Right here in St. Paul. You know, I'm not gonna doubt. I'm not even going to flinch, or anything. I'm just going to say that speaks to misinformation, lack of information, lack of due diligence, of someone really taking real leadership and moving forward to ensure that the community is aware. Because if we pass the information around the right kind of way, we'd quarantine ourselves for 15, 20 days, get all our provisions. We got people giving out food here on different days and stuff like that. So people are still moving all around.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's coordinating efforts.
Nope.
So that we come out one day, you can go visit this site, this site, this site, this site, get what you need.
Back
Now,
inside.
Back inside for 20 days. Economy, there would not be an economy if there's not people.
Since you took it there, Brother West,
Mm-hmm.
let's step away from the county and local and let's go statewide.
Okay.
From the very start of this pandemic, I was confused as to why Governor Walz, and this is not trying to discredit him or any of those things, right? But I'm trying to get an understanding of why the governor would not say, hey, look, this coronavirus is spreading rapidly throughout our communities. We can't get a control on it. We tried to shut things down the first shutdown was for 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
We tried to shut things down for 2 weeks. We opened back up again. It spread rapidly again. It was a spike in cases. We're just going to shut everything in the state down. In the state for 20 days. We're going to start sanitizing everything. We're going to get a hold on this thing. No one is going to be permitted to go anywhere for 20 days. You need groceries, you can go to get groceries from this time to this time. Or we can use the National Guard to deliver groceries to people's house. We got online services that people could use. We'll utilize that. If you don't got a working phone, all that, you can call this number. We'll make sure you get the essential items that you need, but you're not going anywhere for 20 days.
Mm-hmm. Well, for one, if it comes from the governor, everybody's going to be looking for a way to get around that. But if it comes from within and we unify and stick together, it'll be solid then. We'll be able to do something. But if it comes from an authority figure, they're going to tell me I can't.
I can't go outside as you're putting on your shoes.
That's what it'll come down to.
Yep.
And while we're on, I'm going to give credit to the governor. During the course of when the pandemic first hit, his response, I was getting updates from them sometimes because I was doing a show every day.
Mm-hmm.
It was called No Mask Required.
I remember that program.
Free shows just to give information, resources, and stuff out to people. They would email me their information. Sometimes it would come at 10 p.m. the night before. So that showed me that they were working up until 10 p.m. This is the governor and his people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that I can had the information fresh for the next day. I'm giving him credit for putting people first. He gave no damn about the commodity economy or any of that stuff. He put people first. He did, and he did the best he can. I remember that when he mentioned that we could test over, I think, 4,000 people a day. Back then, because they were selling tests back then in March and April. They were selling tests. He said we could test people, and as soon as after he made that announcement, a week after, the vice president was here, and he came to the Mayo Clinic and everything.
Yep.
I thought they was coming to beat him up. I really did, knock him down and everything. Don't you ever get out here and talk about how many people you could test or, we're trying to, I didn't know what that was, but it was controversial in my mind and in my thoughts. Nothing that I would say, what I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to put nothing out there that's not true, but I was thinking a million different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But he stayed the course. He stayed the path. And so it's easy for us to say, the governor needs to, okay. But what do we need to do? Because that's something that we can control. What do we need to do?
And I like that, you said, if it came from the authority figure, people aren't going to listen. They're going to say, oh, I can't go outside. Okay, cool, as they're on their way out the door. But if it is a community conversation, if we came together as a collective and say, look, we got to get a control on this thing, We got to make sure our community is safe.
Yep.
I think that would resonate
Yep.
much better.
What are
throughout the
we going to
community.
do?
What are we going to
What
do?
are we going to do? It's a real simple question. What are we going to do to prevent this?